Hello everyone, welcome to China Watch. According to data from the People's Bank of China, in the first half of 2023, household deposits continued to significantly increase, rising by 11.9 trillion yuan, which is 1.6 trillion yuan more than the same period in 2022. Excessive savings typically imply that people are reluctant to spend. A peculiar phenomenon is that while most countries in the world are worrying about rising prices, China's prices have been consistently falling. Presently, due to the CCP's economic downturn and a sharp reduction in people's income, cutting expenses has become the primary principle for consumption.
Faced
with shrinking income, consumerism is no longer in vogue, and a more practical approach of buying whatever is cheap has emerged. Pinduoduo, known for its low-price discounts, saw a 63% year-on-year increase in revenue in the first half of 2023. In the Huarun Global Rich List, the founder of Pinduoduo and its US version shopping website, Temu, Wang Zheng, saw his net worth increase from 145 billion yuan in 2022 to 210 billion yuan in 2023. In contrast, Alibaba and JD.com only had revenue growth rates in the single digits, at 8% and 4.6% respectively.
Since the end of the pandemic lockdown, Starbucks Chinese stores open for over a year witnessed a 46% revenue increase in the third quarter, but the average customer spend dropped by 1%. Luckin Coffee's financial report for the second quarter of this year showed a total net revenue of 6.201 billion yuan, about $855 million, an 88% year-on-year increase, surpassing Starbucks China for the first time through continuous price reductions. In the remarkable Chinese market, a company named Cocoa Fresh Tea and Juice offers freshly brewed Americano for only 3.9 yuan per cup, approximately $0.60 per cup. In the tourism industry, during this year's Golden Week holiday, the total traffic volume on national highways reached 487 million, a 15% increase compared to 2019. This is because people are opting for short-distance trips, making this year's Golden Week the most congested in history. The prices of domestic flight tickets during this period have taken a big dip, marking the first time in history with a significant plunge. There's a general trend of reversal in various industries in China, taking real estate, automotive, and mobile phone industries as examples. China's mobile phone sales have been thriving in recent years, leading the global market in shipments for over a decade. Chinese manufacturers have held around 60% of the global market share, consistently exceeding 300 million units per year. However, a reversal trend is starting to emerge. According to the data from the China Academy of Information and Communications Technology, CATE in 2022, the total shipment of smartphones in China for the whole year was approximately 286 million units, marking a 13.2% year-on-year decline, the largest drop in history. After a decade, the shipment of smartphones in China fell below the 300 million mark. In 2019, the total shipment of phones in the domestic market was 372 million units. From January to June 2023, the cumulative total shipment in the domestic market was 130 million units, continuing its downward trend. The third quarter shipment of smartphones in China in 2023 decreased by 5%, reaching only 67 million units. It marks the second consecutive quarter of decline. Among them, Vivo dropped by 26%, Oppo by 10%, Apple by 6%, Honor by 1%, while Xiaomi sales remained stable. Apple's largest overseas market is in China. In the fourth quarter of this year, Apple's Greater China revenue was $15.084 billion, a 2% year-on-year decrease. The sales volume of Apple's new iPhone 15 in China is significantly lower than the previous generation, reflecting continued weak consumer demand and increasing operational pressures faced by Apple in China. Sales of Apple's flagship devices dropped by 4.5% within 17 days after release, marking one of the worst debuts for an iPhone in China since around 2018. In terms of revenue and profit, domestic phones, holding a 60% global share, take 38% of revenue and 3% of profits. Apple, with an 18% share, takes 45% of revenue and 85% of profits. With the decline in shipments, the profits in the phone industry are likely to further decrease. Statistics show that real estate prices in China's second and third-tier cities have dropped by nearly 30 to 40% after the pandemic. On October 20th, Chairman Yu Liang of Vanke stated that the Chinese real estate industry is currently experiencing the most painful wall-hitting period in the marathon. More industry insiders believe that the glory days of CCP's real estate will not return. There are three main reasons. First, China's population growth has turned negative. With fewer people, the need for houses decreases. Second, according to Ren Zeping's China Housing Inventory Report data, the ratio of total number of housing units to total number of households in China's urban area was 1.09 in 2020, with ratios of 0.97, 1.08, and 1.12 for first-tier, second-tier, and third- and fourth-tier cities, respectively, indicating a static balance in China's housing overall. Third, with the economic downturn, high unemployment rates, declining household incomes, shrinking wealth, and rising family debt ratios, houses for more ordinary families are seen as liabilities rather than assets. A 70-square-meter house in Hegang, Heilongjiang Province, was sold for 25,000 yuan, which became a trending topic. The CCP government has introduced multiple policies to revive the sluggish real estate market, including 16 financial measures, 3 financial supports, interest rate reductions, relaxed purchase restrictions, and swap old for new. However, these policies failed to halt the price declines. Recently, the CCP passed document number 14, Guidance on Planning and Constructing Affordable Housing, turning the real estate market into a dual-track system for affordable housing and commercial housing. The so-called affordable housing is very similar to the economically applicable housing from 20 years ago, low-cost and suitable, but the CCP's corruption eventually prevents poor people from living in such homes. With stagnant income for the people and unchecked power for CCP officials, no measures can stimulate the housing market. In recent years, the Chinese automotive industry has been unable to break the curse of the harder we work, the more we lose. According to data from China's National Bureau of Statistics, in the 3 years from July 2019 to July 2023, the revenue of the automotive manufacturing industry grew by 23%. While profits only increased by 0.6%. Reflecting the economic situation, in 2019, commercial vehicle production and sales were 43.6 million and 43.24 million, respectively. By 2022, the production and sales figures dropped to 31.85 million and 33 million, marking a year-on-year decline of 31.9% and 31.2%. According to WIN's data, in the first half of this year, China's commercial vehicle sales were 1.9706 million units. For 6 major listed companies, BYD, Geely Auto, Great Wall Motors, SAIC Motor Corporation, Chang'an Automobile, and GAC Group, combined, the revenue scale increased by over 30% from 2018 to the present, while profits decreased by 37%. To boost car sales, various levels of government have increased subsidy efforts. In March this year, Dongfeng Citroën C6 received a high subsidy of 90,000 yuan from the Hubei provincial government, enabling cars to be purchased for only 130,000 yuan. In recent years, China's automobile industry's export volume has been continuously increasing. However, a closer analysis suggests that the future may not necessarily be optimistic. In the first half of this year, China's car exports were mainly to Russia, while global car consumption leaders in Europe, America, and South Korea are still dominated by their local enterprises. Among the top 3 car companies in exports, only Chery is a domestically produced independent brand, while the leading SAIC relies on joint ventures with foreign brands for export. The third is Shanghai Tesla, exporting completed vehicles. China's so-called new energy electric vehicle exports are robust, relying on subsidies from the CCP government. Reuters quoted consulting firm Alex Partners stating that from 2016 to 2022, the CCP authorities granted $57 billion in subsidies for pure electric and hybrid energy cars. The New York Times reported that NIO, in the second quarter of this year, recorded a loss of 6.056 billion yuan, losing 250,000 yuan per vehicle sold. In 2020, NEO faced a funding crisis, and a state-owned department of the CCP spent $1 billion in cash to acquire 24% of NEO's shares. In July 2021, state-owned banks including China Construction Bank provided a $1.6 billion loan to NEO. Despite substantial financial support, technological and fixed asset investments, capacity utilization rates are quite low. From January to April 2023, the utilization rate for emerging forces like Ideal Cars is only 25%, while NEO stands at 45.6%, both below 50%. In September of this year, the European Union announced the official initiation of an anti-subsidy investigation into the import of pure electric cars from China. The investigation results will determine whether anti-dumping duties will be imposed on cars exported from China. Currently, China's stock market, bond market, foreign exchange market, and real estate market continue to decline, with investment, consumption, and net exports at a standstill. Financial crises are frequent, government financial conditions are deteriorating rapidly, and youth unemployment rates are reaching unprecedented highs. Through the collection and analysis of data, Net Garden Finance has found that the prospects for other industries, including education and basic consumer goods, such as the condiments industry, are also extremely bleak. It appears that the future of the CCP's economy will continue to decline. That concludes this episode. If you like China Watch, please subscribe it and stay tuned. Thank you, everyone.